Hey guys, okay, so I'm going to make this quick little tutorial. It might not be so quick. I might be a part one, part two, but I'm gonna make this tutorial on getting you guys set up for recording videos, separating your audio from your Discord, and making sure that we have what I like to use is voicemeeter Bannana set up properly. Biggest things with all of this stuff, the more computer updates, the more likely issues are going to happen. I think every time Windows 10 updates for me, I'm going through and double checking and rechanging things out. Sometimes the best solution is just restart the computer. So I'll kind of explain when I run into that as I'm getting this stuff ready. So as of right now, let's go ahead and do a display capture here. It should be this one here. And I do apologize, you're going to see this really long thing, so I'll just kind of minimize that for now. No. You know what? No. Let's full scale that. Whoa. Close. Anyway. Let's see what this does actually. So this is obviously OBS. You're gonna have the crazy indefinite window for now. I guess we'll just deal with it, but I wanted to explain what I see since Discord right now is not allowing us to see other people's cursors, so I can't effectively just screen share with you guys and call it good without trying to describe where I'm at all the time. So now that you can see my mouse, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and double check everything. So looking at OBS here, you have your preview window. So this is what you're going to see. You'll see it minimize and you'll see it maximize in the video like I did before. It's going to be annoying, but whatever. We'll deal with it. The other thing we're going to see is the scenes. So scenes, I have one set up for recording, I have one set up for streaming. So as far as recording and streaming goes, it's going to be interesting. If I use the streaming one, I don't think you guys will actually see the video, but if I use the streaming one, then we're going to have some issues with trying to describe that. That'll be a whole nother thing. But going over here to sources, so I actually have mine set up. So let's say somebody was in Discord talking to me right now. This bar would go up and the desktop audio would stay down because I don't have any music. There's no background noise going on right now besides the microphone. The reason why I like it set up this way is when I'm playing a game, desktop audio is the only thing that comes up. So all game audio is on one track. Discord is going to be on a separate track, and then my microphone will be on a third track, which goes into the video editing. That way it automatically has 3 or 4, depending on how you set it up, 3 or 4 lines of audio on top of, or instead of everything being mashed into one, I can separate out and make things sound a little bit better, and it's a lot easier to work with. But going in to this a little bit further here, if I go to my image, it's obviously going to be the top right motivated garden salad, which is what is going to be on my videos, not sneaky cucumber anymore. Recording game capture. So if you're going to be playing a game, there's 2 ways of doing this. So right now I'm actually using the display capture, which is why you can see my monitor. But if I move this over here, now you can see the mouse and everything like that, so I can actually show you other things. If you have a single monitor setup, I actually recommend using the record game capture, and I'll show you how to put that on. Or not record game capture, record display capture. So you just hit the plus sign here and go to your display capture, sign it, and then make sure when you're in the properties, which is after you're done putting that together, you just select that you have the capture or the cursor captured. So other than that, fairly simple, like nothing too crazy. Recording game capture. So the way these are set up is I have it set up to capture the VR window right now, but normally you'll set it up this way. Capture any full screen application. That means if you play a game, you have to play it in full screen as it's in full screen, which is good for multi-monitor setups. That way you don't have to worry about, like, if you alt-tabbed out of it, the game's still up there, and they don't have to see what you're talking to or if you're making a message or something like that. So it just keeps it a little more firm, and you can use it a cut in that situation when that happens, because some games will run in the background and just kind of have you bouncing around. Others will just black out or freeze the frame. So I use them both. I just typically I'll use the game capture first instead of the display capture, but for VR I use display capture. All right, next thing is going to be our settings. So settings can be pretty typical. I mean, if I've already set you guys up with recording before, then all of this stuff should be standard. I mean, if you want, you can take a look. I have my recording path set to a recording file. If you want to do what I have, that's fine. It's not a big deal. You definitely want to keep this bitrate really high because you don't want the OBS to be the bottleneck of your recording software. So let your hardware do the bottlenecking, and then I'd rather your playthrough be what you're representing versus what's actually happening. Audio, hotkeys, I have mine set to the N key, just because it's just part of it. So yeah, you don't do a start streaming hotkey. The only one I ever do is the start and stop recording, and then that's good. I don't really use it though. I usually kind of come in and hit it since I got 3 monitors here. So anyway, after that, so if you kind of look at the audio that I'm doing, it's kind of flirting with the red line. If it goes too high in the red, then you'll have what you call as an audible pop or an audio pop, where it basically just kind of sounds like it's blowing your speakers, and it just doesn't sound very good. Even if you lower the volume, it's not going to get the quality of that sound back. So I have that set up that way. Other than that, pretty much once you have everything set up here, the next hard part is going to be voicemeeter Bannana, because that's where everybody's running into issues. It's hard to try and figure out right away. Like, it's not a program that walks you through things. It's something that I had to learn myself, and I had to kind of tinker with it. Now I'm going to show you my setup here. So I'm going to move this out here. For now, I'll pull in voicemeeter Bannana. This is voicemeeter Bannana. You guys have all seen it already. The only thing that you guys probably haven't seen on mine is I've actually got 2 sets of microphones. I have 3 sets of hardware. So if you have speakers set up, if you have a headset, if you have VR, you can set it up the same way I've got it. But the big thing is actually going to be like having everything sound come through one situation. So before we get into this screen here, let's go down to here. If you're running Windows 10, open your sound settings, go to sound control panel, which popped up right there apparently. Move this out of the way, screw it. When you download voicemeeter Bannana, the first thing you have to look for is you need a voicemeter output, you need a voicemeter auxiliary output. Same thing in recording, except for instead of output, it's input. Voicemeter input, voicemeter auxiliary input. If you don't have those two, uninstall the program and reinstall it again. Those, I mean, they might not look like the same things. Like these look like little cables. The other one looks like the actual mixer. Or these ones look like the, what do you call it? The speakers. Jesus. So either way, I don't care about the icon. It says this right here. These two have to work together. Now your defaults on everything else is going to be the input and the output, none of the auxiliary. The auxiliary is going to be what we use in Discord and other applications if necessary. So this one and this one, this one and this one. And you can see I have everything else disabled completely because I only like using what I have currently hooked up. This is where some of the other like troubleshooting issues can happen. So NVIDIA output not plugged in. The ones that you want active for your speakers and like on the playback side of things is going to be your headset, any speakers you have, which is I use my monitor speakers, and then that's it. So my VR is not plugged in right now. I haven't messed with this for the VR side yet, so I'm just leaving it alone because it's working currently. The more I mess with it, sometimes the more shit can break. This one is obviously going to be my condenser microphone, and that's it. I think the other microphone is the VR headset microphone, which is probably hidden somewhere. So anyway, big thing is these two and these two have to be active. Okay, default communication, default communication. Okay, then you can get out of that. Once you have those things set up, then you can go into voicemeeter Bannana. Now I will let you know there's going to be a restart after you're done putting everything in, and you might have to put it in again. Just because the first time I did this and the first time everybody's done this, you've set everything up properly, and then all of a sudden nothing's coming out. There's no sound, there's nothing like that. Go check the sound control panel, make sure everything's defaulted still. Sometimes if you unplug and replug things in, it automatically defaults it to something else. So defaults are first, then you come into here, and there is WDM, KS, and MME, which are, I don't have any clue what the freaking abbreviations are. Some work better than others. Some will make it sound like WDM, I think, is supposed to be the clearest. MME is like mid-range, and then KS is like low quality. And you're not going to have the same setup. You're going to have different things. Especially, most of it probably be like headset microphone, because you guys don't have condensers mics, so you'll have like your Razer headset or whatever your brand is on there. But it should automatically tell you the microphone area, and that's it. Okay. Over here, so this is hardware input. This is going to be your microphone. Now you can mess with these settings. I typically don't, because what I'll do, unless I'm not loud enough, I'll increase the gain here, but I won't mess with a noise gate. I won't mess with a compressor. The only one I had to mess with, because I don't have anywhere else to do it, is the headset itself. The headset was really loud, and I had to put a noise gate on it. We also had to put a little bit of a brightness to it, so make it sound more like a condenser microphone. I like to have the mono, which is, was it mono? Anyway, it sounds like it's one speaker getting set up. I don't do solo, because sometimes it'll click on the, like, half of your speaker will show up. You might hear that. I don't know. Sometimes it messes up. Other times it's fine. Set it to Bravo 1. If you have multiple, like a headset or a VR set and a speaker or a microphone on your headset, then set them just to Bravo 1 and then leave one muted. But most of you are just going to have the one microphone on your headset or condenser microphone if you've got. Set that up. You'll see it talking once you start talking. You should see it over here too. So the way this is set up is this is Bravo 1, which this master selection is Bravo 1, 2. These are physical. This is virtual. So I could actually have two people talking in two different headsets, and it'll pick up both of them. That's how it could be set up. Technically 3, but I don't really want to mess with the third one yet. Over here, if you have two speakers, you're going to start up here. You're going to probably put your headset first. So I got my headset, my Razer Man of War. The second one is going to be, that's my monitor, so I can listen to monitor stuff. And the third one is obviously going to be my VR headset. So if I wanted to, you just mute what you don't want to hear, because it's all going to play the same desktop audio. So if I had all three of these on at the same time and I had all three of them unmuted, I should hear in my headset, I should hear on my monitor, and I should also hear inside my headphones there, my VR headset. So keep things simple, right? You know, mute what you don't hear. Don't ever mute this unless you, like I always mute over here unless it's the physical stuff. Mute your microphone here, mute your audio here. Once you get this stuff set up, don't worry about this as if you wanted to record in here. This right here, make sure you have every one that you're using checked, because if you don't, then these right here won't actually come through on the sound. Okay? So if you wanted to just take a look, Bravo 1, if Bravo 1's selected over here, anytime you talk, it's going to do an echo and it'll come through your speakers. So this is all playback stuff. Do not have any of your microphone sections selected at all. Okay? All right. Now, Discord. Let's pull over Discord. The way I'm setting this up, and we'll go back to OBS, but the way I'm setting this up is going to be in the voice and video. The input device is going to be the voicemeeter input. It's your microphone. It's the thing you talk into. So if you stick everything voicemeeter as your defaults, leave everything voicemeeter as your defaults. What people run into issues is they'll either have voicemeeter input running on one area, and then they'll use like default microphone here, or they'll choose something completely different here. Like, keep things simple, right? I like the KISS method. Keep things simple, stupid, right? Keep it simple, stupid, I think is what it stands for. Next thing is going to be the output. So the output, this is where I was talking about having the auxiliary and the normal output selected on one of the other. Defaults are going to be normal output. Auxiliary is going to be Discord, and there's a reason for it. So they both say the same thing. It's just this is going to go to a different, it's going to create its own wave form, and it's not going to be picked up in your Discord or your desktop audio on OBS. So input, auxiliary output. Okay. And that's all you have to do there. Once that's done, you can get rid of that. Go back here. Now, if you guys don't have the Discord already set up, if you do, all you have to do is go to audio. Is that an audio output or input capture? Hold on. That's an output capture. Okay, so audio output capture. Boom, audio output capture. And then label it as Discord or Discord 2 or Discord whatever. But if you already have it there, you go to properties. Biggest thing is going to be Discord's putting the output for audio auxiliary output. So Discord here has to be audio auxiliary output, right? Makes sense. The desktop audio is just going to be normal output. Whatever comes out of the speakers is what is going to go there already. And then your microphone. This one here, I have mine on input just because I can switch between the VR headset and this without having to deal with switching things out in here. So I leave mine on the input, just keeping it simple. To double check and make sure that all of this gets recorded properly, when you go into your output and you're recording, there's this audio track thing. It says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So track 1 will be desktop audio, track 2 will be Discord audio, and track 3 will be microphone or auxiliary. So when you pull that into Vegas Pro, you will have the video on the top line, and then you'll have 3 audio tracks. One will be the desktop, one will be the Discord, and one will be the microphone. And you can move these around however you want them. I just keep it this way. I like having my microphone on the bottom because it's easier to edit. So the Discord and desktop usually gets delayed or gets deleted anyway if I have multiple people in a Discord call. So that's just how it goes. I can go into the editing stuff later, but you're probably gonna have to do a restart. You're probably gonna have to do a wipe of some kind, or not a wipe, what am I saying? I'm tired. You have to do a restart for sure. Yeah, other than that, I mean, it's pretty simple once you get into working with it. It's just making sure you have all the settings set up properly. You don't have any other programs, sometimes Realtek, Logitech. I mean, if you're running those and actually you're editing your sound and everything through those, it's going to cause issues. Sometimes just uninstalling those and leaving it simple like this, it works fine. I haven't stopped using voicemeeter. It does frustrate me some days when it's like, oh hey, I can't hear you. Well, I got to look at voicemeeter. First thing I could say is obviously check the control panel, but the second thing, if you're not hearing anything, you will see if sound's coming out of these. So if I have like, let's see if I can pull up something. There, whatever.
Want to worry less in 2020?
Obviously,
book a
this
stay
is
and
coming
cancel
out
if
here.
you need to. On booking.com.
Now you guys should probably be able to hear this advertisement or whatever, but it's one of those things that you'll see it right there. Or whichever one's unmuted, you'll see it. Other than that, everything should be okay. As far as quality of sound with your microphone, I would do that in your editing software, because you can save profiles there. You can do it here too. Sometimes doing 2 different edits can make it sound not realistic by any means. So I leave this part alone. The only one I had to do was my VR headset for that reason. But I think we're good to go. Let me know if I need to make another video. Okay, not good to go yet. So, one thing that I did notice that I didn't talk about was the default mixer settings. So, there should be, if you go into advanced audio properties, it's going to pull up this set here. When I was talking about like certain ones being on certain tracks, this is how this is supposed to go. So if I pull this up here, now I have desktop audio and I have it turned over to monolithic, which means both sides of the speakers are getting the exact same amount of sound coming through it. That should only be done on your microphone. So I've got it not only in voicemeeter, but I also did it here in OBS just to kind of double check and make sure things are working. I don't know why people would want to do a balance on left to right on certain things. So, but as far as a microphone goes, I could kind of understand the desktop audio if you wanted more editing software stuff going through. But the big thing here is going to be desktop audio on the tracks. So when you first launch this, after you right click and go to the advanced audio properties, you're going to see that these tracks here are going to go, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are all checked, which cooperates with the settings that we went through earlier. You just want to check like desktop audio is 1, microphone either 2 or 3, the other one the other. So if you can kind of set it up this way, when you pull it into Vegas Pro, every single time you record something, desktop audio will be the first track. The second track is going to be my microphone, I guess, and then the third one will be Discord. Now, if you tried playing the video after OBS recording, you will not hear track number 2 and track number 3. It only plays audio track 1 right after it. So if I pulled up the MP4 file here and just started playing it, it's only going to play what was in the background, which was nothing. So you'd hear nothing. So what I had to do is I actually had to go into Vegas Pro to render the video, so that way all the auto tracks go into one and then it's attached to the video. So I'm still working on it. You can see it right here. This is actually the this is the video I'm editing now. This is what I just recorded earlier. So and good point, this is the audio tracks. So this is track 0, track 1, track 2, or if we're going to make it smart, this is track 1, track 2, and track 3. So 1 is here, 2 is here, and 3 is there. All right, so that's a major thing to make sure. Otherwise, everything we set up earlier is not going to make sense because everything's going to be coming out at the exact same thing or multiples of the same thing. All right, so just make sure those are set up properly. The other thing over here I wanted to bring up, which was voicemeeter Bannana. If you go to the menu, you want to run this. So auto restart engine. So if you close it and turn it back on, you always want to run this at startup. So make sure that this and this, just set them up this way. If it's not running, it's not working. So it's like it's unplugged. So big thing is make sure that everything's running on the startup. Auto restart is on, and then you can do always visible if you want. That just means that you can pull it up out of here. So other than that, everything should be good now. I will, if I need to do a quick editing video with you guys, I can later. Another thing I'd like to do is, I mean, you can X out of it after it's running, but I like to just minimize things. I think I can right click and hide it. Actually, let's see. Oh no, yeah, you can exit out after you have it set up. So when it's running in the background, it's good to go. So it's still running technically, it's just not on my desktop anymore. So, but yeah, biggest thing is when you're dealing with voicemeeter, don't have extra programs that run audio or record audio or anything like that, or edit audio like to the microphone itself, like adding gains and gates and stuff like that. Don't let it do that. You can do that in here. If you wanted to put a noise gate up, go to your filters, add a filter, which would be any of these selections, and then mess with it this way. But I can walk you guys through that at a later time. The clearer the sound here, as far as like noise gates and noise suppression, if you don't want background noise to be picked up, do that here. It's harder to do that in the editing software. But since that is done, I think you guys should be set up to completely record or start the recording process now, and then I can do it another video where I can walk you guys through hand by hand get that set up as far as editing goes.